I recently read a Barna article about a survey on the presidential election. It indicated that religious beliefs were a major factor influencing the voting of conservative Christians, but not progressive Christians. I found this surprising and somewhat dismaying. I'm a person who self-identifies as a progressive Christian, and religious beliefs do have a significant impact on my political beliefs. For one thing, it is very important to me that our political leaders are not only smart and informed, but that they are also spiritually, morally, and emotionally developed individuals. This is important to me not only as a Christian, but also as a psychologist. This is in contrast to our evolutionary roots, where the alpha male would predominate as leaders of communities. One did not need to be morally or spiritually developed, just strong, powerful, and forceful. For these societies, size mattered, whether it be overall strength, the size of horns, the size of hands, or whatever. Alpha males ruled by intimidation, strength, and dominance. Might made right. Alpha males have predominated not only in the animal kingdom, but also in human societies. People seem to be drawn to strong, confident, dominant personalities. Alpha males are common in the Bible as well. Rehoboam, who was the son of Solomon, and Solomon's successor after Solomon died, in response to complaints by his subjects about the heavy yoke that had been placed upon them, was advised by his friends to tell his subjects about how he was such a greater alpha male than was his father. Specifically, he was advised to say, "My little finger's thicker than my father's loins." He was advised to stress how he was the much greater alpha male and was much more virile, and that his subjects should beware and not to mess with him. Well, the outcome wasn't very good. The northern kingdom of Israel split off from Judah, which Rehoboam continued to rule. We often have an attraction to alpha males. They become the heroes of stage and screen. There was an alpha male that ruled the Roman Empire at the time of Jesus, Caesar Augustus. He was considered a god and the son of a god. During this time period, there was peace in the world, which was known as Pax Romana. This was a peace brought about by conquest of various nations by the Roman Empire. Theologian Marcus Borg discussed the domination systems of that time. These were societies ruled by the powerful few who used their wealth and power to shape the social system in their own self-interest. Jesus preached against this system and about a coming age in which domination, injustice, and violence would be no more. I'm interested in a leader that reflects the teachings of Jesus, not Caesar Augustus or other alpha personalities. That is one way my religion affects my political beliefs. Research by developmental psychologists has demonstrated that development does not need to stop once we reach adulthood. Hopefully, we continue to develop emotionally, cognitively, and spiritually. Developmental psychologists have identified characteristics of individuals who are the most spiritually developed. These are the characteristics that I want in my leaders. I expect my national leaders to sacrifice for our country, not to gain power for their own personal gain. We have young people who serve in the military that we expect even to sacrifice their lives for their country, or for ideals such as freedom and democracy. I expect nothing less. No, I expect even more from our leaders. Jesus gave his life in the pursuit of the kingdom of God. Mahatma Gandhi gave his life in sacrifice for the Indian people. Martin Luther King gave his life in sacrifice for the rights of Black Americans. Mother Teresa lived a life of poverty in sacrifice for the poor of Calcutta. The Gospel of Luke says, "From everyone to whom much has been given, much will be required. And from the one to whom much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded." It astounds me that leaders throughout history, and even today, are often focused only on their own power and comfort, rather than the mass of people for whom they have responsibility. Bashar al-Assad of Syria is an excellent example of this. He's doing anything to remain in power, even to the extent of killing his own people. He will be known to history as a horrendous and dastardly dictator, but even this type of legacy apparently is worth the cost of remaining in power. So many leaders throughout history have had this moral and spiritual depravity. It is this that Jesus preached against. I expect my leaders never to denigrate or put down people, only ideas or behavior. Emotionally and spiritually mature people do not humiliate, denigrate, or put down others. They do not resort to name-calling. We can disagree strongly with policies and even the way people behave without belittling and demeaning individuals as people. I expect my leaders to show respect for all people. The Golden Rule is a basic tenet taught by all of the world's great religions. It means we treat others with love, kindness, and respect. I expect my leaders to abhor violence. I believe there are times we need to defend ourselves physically when attacked, but I believe violence should be a last resort, and only in self-defense. I want leaders who agree with this philosophy. I expect my leaders to look out for the poor, the downtrodden, and the most vulnerable. I expect my leaders to advocate for the welfare of everybody, not just their base or those with power and influence. My expectation is that race, religion, sexual orientation, identity, or social status should not matter. I expect my leaders to have humility. My hope is that our leaders realize that we're all people of equal value and that the common good is of more importance than personal glorification. I expect my leaders to be honest. I think we often make excuses or allowances for politicians. For example, we say, well, that's just politics. I believe we should start demanding from our politicians honesty without spin, straw man arguments, evasiveness, and downright lies. It is absolutely unacceptable, and we shouldn't stand for it. My religious beliefs greatly influence my political stances, and this includes my desire for individuals of great character who seek to live out the teachings of Jesus and all of the great spiritual leaders. I hope and pray that our president and all of our leaders govern with integrity, honesty, humility, thoughtfulness, and wisdom to serve all of the people of this country rather than personal self-interests.